No sacrifice too great. Duty first. Overall, the sacrifice of the 1st Infantry Division in Vietnam, 1965 through 1970, was little different from that of World War I and II. But the rate of combat casualties of those killed or wounded in action was distinctly different. In World War I, in 7 months of combat, the division lost 22,320 killed and wounded. On the average, that's over 3,000 per month. In World War II, in some 24 months of combat, the division lost 20,770 soldiers. That's about 800 soldiers per month. In Vietnam, in nearly 60 months of combat, the division lost 20,659, 300 or so soldiers per month. The operations in Vietnam were, of course, distinctly different. In Vietnam, the division fought over an area that was 100 times larger than the battlefields of World War I, and was 10 times larger than the division's zones of operations during World War II. What made it possible for the Big Red One to perform its duty in Vietnam was the HU-1 series of helicopters, that which we call the Huey. The Huey utility bird enabled swift maneuver and assured resupply throughout the division's vast area of responsibility. The Huey ambulance, the dust-off version, dramatically speeded evacuation of the wounded from the battlefield, making it possible for most wounded to reach a fully staffed medical facility within 1 hour of being hit. The gunship version of the Huey, the HU-1C, which you see before you, escorted both the utility and the dust-off birds on their mission, ready to provide covering fire around their landing zones. But most of us remember best its close support for embattled infantry. In the Big Red One, Rebel gunships were one way we could achieve fire superiority, and while mortars, artillery, and Air Force strikes played a role, the rebels were often first on the scene and were able to engage the enemy within a few yards in front of our troops. I know of instances, as do many here, when the arrival of a rebel gunship at a firefight decided the day. The enemy, hearing the cracking blades overhead, the snarl of the miniguns, and the whumph of the incoming rockets, would cease fire and fade away. We liked the rebels because they were on our radio nets, talked our language, and understood our tactics and procedures even as we knew theirs. And so it is fitting that we add to the relics of the division's service wars past this helicopter. It deserves to be part of the 1st Division Museum's collection, and it is particularly important as a reminder that in Vietnam, among the greatest of the warriors of the Big Red One were its Army aviators.